Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, so when it comes to my business background, I've been running online businesses for over 8 years now. My first one I started in 2016 at the age of 16 as well, which was an Instagram theme page business, which is where you own an Instagram page and you repost content from other people and you give them credit. That's how you can grow a page. So I grew that from 0 to over 1 million followers, and then I sold it in 2020. So I've actually sold a business before. Within that process, I had a lot of free time because I outsourced everything in the Instagram theme page business. And that led to me starting YouTube in the beginning of 2019. Initially, I started it myself. So I did all the work and I was making videos myself so that I could learn. Now, within that year, I grew my own channel very quickly. And I also learned a lot about YouTube. Now, what I saw was a big opportunity in YouTube SEO, which led to me starting this business that is listed for sale here at the end of 2019, where I started a YouTube channel and I only focused on getting traffic through SEO. No recommendations, no browse features, which basically means that YouTube recommends your content. None of that, because what I saw is that is quite unsteady and unreliable. But instead, SEO traffic is extremely predictable and steady because there's always a certain amount of people just searching for something every single day. So that's when I started doing that channel, which is here listed for sale, end of 2019. Now, from the moment of starting, the first month was a bit slow, but it's the nature of SEO. But from there on, the second month, the third month, all the way up to the end of the year of 2020, we saw a huge increase every single month in views as well as revenue, and that never really stopped. So up until the point now where the channel has over 100 million views from YouTube SEO traffic, as well as hundreds of thousands of dollars generated in revenue as well as profit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been running this business for 5 years, and I've been doing online business itself for over 8 years.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
So the reason I'm selling the business rather than keeping it or growing it is actually quite simple. It's mainly made up out of two things. The first one is that, like I just said, I've been doing this business for over 5 years now. It's a great business. There's a lot of cash flow coming in. However, it's also quite boring because it's so simple. And I've been doing this for 5 years, day in and day out, especially the first 2 years, in order to really grow it and learn everything there is with this business, that I kind of just grew out of it. It doesn't really interest me that much anymore. So I started this as a passion to really grow fast, to start growing an online business. And I still like making content. Whereas right now, the content that goes up on these kind of channels, I have outsourced, but I'm kind of done with it since I've been so focused on it for more than 5 years now, or coming up to 5 years. On top of that, I also have a few other projects that I've got going on that just interest me much more. And that's the reason I kind of want to shift my focus towards a different type of business and different daily activities that would come with that for me. So that is pretty much it. Now, instead of keeping it, I decided to sell it so that the new owner can keep the channels alive, keep the business alive, which would, of course, be great to see. And on top of that, I'm just looking to get cash upfront rather than sit out the X amount of period that it would generate that same amount anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason that I'm looking to sell it.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
So when it comes to the type of work that I do on the business to maintain it, I'll actually describe it in two different phases, all right? One of which is the growth phase. So this is where you aim to grow the business, get more revenue, make more profit. Now, what comes with that is the following. So in order to grow in this business, you need to invest in video production and upload videos on the channel. To do this, what is needed from the business owner, so you, is to make sure that video topics are provided to the content team so that they can make the videos. That is the only activity that needs to get done. You can either do that yourself if you're the new business owner and you would like to learn, or you can also outsource it to someone else that would provide the keywords and the video ideas to the content team so that they can make it and then it goes live on the channel. Because that's how you grow the channel. You upload videos, those generate revenue as soon as they start ranking and picking up views. The more views you get, the more money you make, and generally, the more videos you upload, the more views you make, thus the more money you upload. So in a growth phase where you're looking to grow the business, you would focus on uploading a lot of videos, and that's the only activity that you need to do. Now you also have a maintaining phase, and that one is very simple. All you need to do is just overview the analytics. There's no other active work. It's a very free and simple business. So if you're like reached a point where you're very content with the amount of revenue that is currently generating, let's say $20,000 a month, and you just want to take $20,000 a month profit from there on, you can just stop uploading. And because this is SEO based, you'll continue to get roughly the same amount of views and roughly make the same amount of revenue. Maybe it will go down like 1%, 2%, 3%, or maybe up by a few percent, but roughly the revenue that it will generate is going to be the exact same. So you can just take profits. And for that, so for the maintaining phase, you don't need to do much apart from just overlook the analytics, make sure that there's nothing weird going on if that were to happen, which barely happens, or if there's any problem. But that's really it. So there's two types of phases when running a business like this, and the activities and the type of work that you do really come down to you providing video ideas to the content team, which you can also outsource. If you do, is just overviewing and making sure that everything gets done.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
So growing this business really comes down to what I just said as well. If you upload more videos and you do it correctly, you'll get more views. The more views, the more money you'll make. So growing this business comes down to ranking more videos for search terms on YouTube that get a lot of traffic. So what I would do is I would upload as many videos as your budget allows in emerging markets, such as AI softwares, new social media apps, new features on the already big social media apps, and anything like that. Because given the fact that everything within these industries is new and it continues to upload daily, there's a lot of things that people search for, but there's no content made for it yet. Making videos that explain the solutions or making videos around these new topics and providing them with information or solving the problems quickly will ensure that you'll rank high and get more views. Now, what I mean by that is basically anything new on the market that becomes extremely popular and you create videos around that quickly, you'll easily rank on YouTube and you'll get a bunch of views. You'll catch the first wave of traffic. And because of that, your video will rank high and it will continue to do so for months or years down the line. That's how I grew these businesses. So in the beginning of 2020, when I just started this business, there were a lot of trends on social media because of the lockdowns, right? Lockdown started to kick in early 2020. A lot of people started using TikTok. And that's when I dove into TikTok and I started making a lot of tutorial videos about all the problems that people ran into. And then because of that, I was getting millions of views on these videos. And they still get a lot of views because I was one of the first to do that and then stay on top of the game. So in order to really grow quickly with this business, it really just comes down to finding emerging topics, emerging markets, and making good content for it rather quickly so that you can catch the first wave of traffic and then continue to hold that position for 1, 2, 3 years down the line. In fact, what I just mentioned is already 4.5 years ago, but it's still making me money as of right now. So that's what I would focus my time on if I would really want to grow the business quickly.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Yeah, good question. The biggest risk within this business is only one thing. So if you manage to eliminate that, you'll be fine. And that's not knowing the YouTube guidelines. That's the only big danger in the business. Because if you get in trouble with YouTube, it might be that your channel, in this case, the business, gets deleted from the platform. Now, don't worry, that has never happened to me before in all those years. It's unlikely, but it could happen if you don't know specific rules, which I'll be happy to give to you and teach you about if you were to become the new owner. But just to give you an example, uploading tutorial videos, which is what we do here, that show how to get access for free to platforms that usually cost money, that's a great example of getting a strike on the platform. So if you make a video and you explain to someone how you can get XYZ for free that normally costs money, that is not allowed. But on the flip side, it's a lot of traffic for those search phrases. And there's a few other people that are making these videos, but they just don't know that they can get in trouble with it. Another example would be to show someone how to download YouTube videos with external third-party tools. That is not allowed by YouTube. So if you make a video about it, you might get in trouble. And there's a couple little things like that that are just not allowed and that might get you into trouble. But like I said, don't worry. I've been in the industry for coming up to 5 years now. I know pretty much all of these specific video topics to look out for, as well as just general rules to follow to not get into any trouble, which I will happily explain to you in case you become the new owner in a call or anything like that. So don't worry about that. But that is pretty much the biggest risk when it comes to this business, is not knowing the rules that you have to play by.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I'm willing to give the new owner 60 days of support. Now that can be texting, emails, or even video calls if you need any help. And what I recommend we do is that we set up a few onboarding calls in the beginning so that we can go over the business economics and the systems. From there on, it will be just the little things that you might need help with. So overall, if a year down the line, you still need some help, you'd have my number. You can always drop a message. No worries at all. I want the business to be doing well from now on as well. So you can always message, but officially, I would like to give 60 days of support in the form of text, emails, video calls, all of that good stuff.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
Potentially, I'm open to this, but it is definitely not preferred. I might be open to it if the initial payment is at an acceptable level for me. But the reason I'm not a fan of this is that this business is such a cash flowing business. And the point of selling is that you have the money up front that it would otherwise generate anyway, months or years down the line. So preferably, definitely not. However, if it were to happen and the initial payment is at an acceptable level, potentially we can discuss it. But it's definitely not preferred.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
So this business is definitely worth buying because a few simple things. First of all, this business is really easy to manage and easy to grow. There's not a lot of complex stuff going on. All it is that you have a channel, you have a digital asset, and you're posting videos on it, and that grows the business. So the only activity that you need to get done is making sure that videos get uploaded. That is extremely simple compared to a lot of other business models. You don't have inventory, you don't have customers, nothing like that. So it's easy to manage, easy to grow, all right? On top of that, it's a proven concept for dozens of years, potentially. Obviously, the internet has been around for around, 20, 25 years, but the SEO concept is been around for such a while that the concept is proven to work over a decade. When it comes to YouTube itself, this has been working extremely well for at least 12 years, and it will continue to do so years from now as well. So it's a very proven concept. On top of that, it's very steady. So the revenue, the money you'll be making, is very steady and predictable because of the fact that it's SEO based. When you compare this to other YouTube channels that get their views from recommendations, they always get pushed by YouTube. And then if YouTube decides to not push them anymore, their views are gone, their revenue is gone. Whereas with this business, it's very steady because it's not based on YouTube pushing us. It's based on people searching for something. They'll always do. There's always X amount of people that run into this problem on a daily basis. And what do? They go to YouTube and then try and find the solution. So it's very steady. So if you're looking to buy a business with low costs, high profit margin, and free cash flow, this is one of the best, if in my opinion, not the best business that you could buy.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.